This episode is brought to you by Relive Health, a modern wellness clinic helping you look and feel your best from the inside out. From peptides and hormone optimization to vitamin therapy, their team makes proactive health simple and approachable. Visit Relive Gaithersburg to start your personalized wellness journey today. And what's really interesting is that now that you're talking about energy and just levels or just motivation as a midlife person, anybody who founds a company in their like 40s or 50s, I don't know how they fucking do it. Welcome to Married to the Startup. I'm Alicia McKenzie, a wellness entrepreneur and digital creator. Alongside me is my amazing husband, George, the CEO who's always ready for a new challenge. We've been navigating marriage and running startups for over a decade, and we're here to share the real, unfiltered journey with you. Join us for insights and candid conversations about integrating love, family, and entrepreneurship. This is Married to the Startup, where every day is a new adventure. Welcome to episode 50, The Retake. I'm your host, Alicia McKenzie.
And I am your lovely co-host, George McKenzie.
You are lovely.
I am. Thank you. I need to come on this pod more often. I get so many compliments.
Version 1 of this podcast, it was really good.
It was amazing. It was the best podcast. It was great.
Except
huge.
We had some awful audio.
And some technical difficulties.
And normally I am a huge fan of done is better than perfect. But the thought of sending a choppy, annoying podcast into the world is just something I could not bring myself to do.
Yeah, it was the choppy audio and then the cut at like 27 minutes.
So the new puppy,
Fitzgerald Grant III,
he actually chewed through the power cable of the podcast mixer, and it completely like just cut off everything in the middle of our segment.
Yeah, it was great.
And then it did not work again because...
Yes, we had to go find another alternate power cable, which you would think would be an easy accessory to buy from the website that sells you said mixer, but nope.
One would think. But rather than selling the power cable to it, you can just buy a whole brand new mixer that's
or
slightly upgraded.
Browse around and find one that is mostly compatible.
Anyways, so this has been a journey. Welcome to episode 50.
Yeah, but the puppy made it. There was no electrical shock.
Which completely blows my mind because how did he chew through a power cord and not shock himself?
Yep, no breaker was tripped. Everything was good.
Wild.
Episode 50, half a century.
Half a century. And when we started this, it was just to give George a platform to talk.
Get my words out.
Get his words out, right? He's like the baby. And you're like, why do you talk so much? And she's like, I just have a lot to say.
Yes.
Like, all right, Maya, let's go.
It has been a long day. That's her favorite saying now.
She has very long days. She lives one hell of a life. If I die and come back as another person, it needs to be baby Maya.
So similar, the FedEx lady that was dropping off the package said that if she could be reincarnated or be rebirthed as a child, she'd want to be ours, based on all of our Halloween decor and animatronics
and the fact that they're just happy kids.
They are. What's not to be happy about?
But episode 50, milestone, it feels like a pretty big one, and it is our first sponsored episode.
I know. How about that?
And I'm not a fan of doing sponsored ads and whatever, but I do tend to promote things that I love and I genuinely use. And that's where Relive definitely comes in, right? I've been with them for, I want to say 3 years, right before I got my surgery. So 2023, I've been with them since like June of 23. And I've done a battery of tests and I've done all my blood work and I've done all my IVs and everything there. They prescribe my peptides. And the reason I really trust the FNP, functional nurse practitioner, is because she spent 10 years in general medicine and she left because she did not like the one size fits all reactionary approach to medicine. And I fully support that. It's just everything needs to be personalized, in my opinion. And I love that more people are jumping on this wellness, biohacking, whatever you want to call it, trend because it's really important. And now that I'm approaching my 40s and people are starting to throw the word perimenopause around, like, what the fuck is that? Like, I've had more conversations about hair loss, itchy feet, like just random symptoms that I had no clue could even exist when it comes to perimenopause and hormone health and all of this stuff. But it just felt like a really authentic partnership with Relive. And that's what we're about.
Yeah, and I think we both have benefited from it. And I think, the things that we talk about a lot, and we've had a couple podcasts about really, is being able to measure, your health. And how do you do that? Like the annual physical, go take the same, cough test or talk to the doctor and then do blood work where they're just looking at 3 or 4 indicators is not really, prescriptive of a long, healthy life, a long lifespan or health span. So being able to get the data around, how your body is actually doing and looking at all the markers and then saying, okay, what do I need more of? And then getting help and focus on the things that you need. And unlike, women have perimenopause and you have these more, I think,
Nuanced health issues.
but men go through similar things. You just call it midlife crisis. When your testosterone drops, you don't feel like the same person you were before, and you compensate from by those things. Like, oh, I'm going to buy a sports car. I'm going to do this, that, or the other to help with my mental health because I am, low on testosterone, or I'm putting on visceral fat, or I'm, having a hard time getting the energy up to work out or to, do the things that I used to do or find joy in the things I used to find joy in. So being able to see, what are the things my body's deficient in and then finding a way to address those, I think that's where Relive comes in, large.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is that now that you're talking about energy and just levels or just motivation as a midlife person, anybody who founds a company in their like 40s or 50s, I don't know how they fucking do it.
Yeah, it's all different people. I find the same thing odd when I look at some of these like NFL players or NFL coaches, and they're like in their 70s
Yeah,
and have so much energy. And you're like, shit, what the fuck is he on? I want some of that.
absolutely. We met this one guy. Have we talked about the winemaker on this podcast?
No,
So we met a winemaker in Napa, and he is the owner of this very, very well-known
high end wine.
vineyard, high-end winery. His neighbors are like, think of, is it who's the guy that makes his moonshine?
Johnny Knoxville,
Yeah, like he's got a bunch of really
eclectic neighbors.
eclectic, well-known neighbors, but this guy is like in his 60s or 70s and he is jacked and had more energy at 10 o'clock in the morning than I could ever have. And we somehow got on the topic of peptides and like him running his business. And he comes out with this huge bag of peptides and just like,
It's his stack.
it's his stack. And he dumped it on the table. And he's like, yeah, I inject this one on this time. And I do this before I drink. And I do this. Like it was mind blowing.
Yes, he had quite the drugstore of peptides.
But he's like his bicep, I shit you not, was like the size of my thigh.
Mhm.
And he was such a character and it was just so much fun to talk to him and like we actually interrupted him when he was doing his vitamins like sorting, so he had it apparently all over the bed
Yeah.
and like it was just it's really cool to just figure out what other people and other founders are doing to stay at the top of their game, right? Because running a vineyard is not easy. You're drinking, you're entertaining, you're doing all these different things and he had his stack to help him stay at the top of his, like, longevity.
Yeah, and because of the fact that he drank so much, he was doing peptides that were specifically targeting liver health,
Mhm.
helping him to be able to combat the damage he's doing by drinking so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's tons of peptides out there too that help with mental health and clarity and to help you be, on it.
I always say I've wanted to try Adderall,
Yeah.
but my fear is that I would try it and love it so much and get, like, addicted to that shit.
Yeah. I could see it.
Could you see, like
It's like someone said, what Limitless was a 2-hour commercial for Adderall.
right? That movie, if any movie made you wanna try Adderall, it was 100% Limitless, and I'm already very high functioning, and could you imagine if I leveled up?
No, I could not.
The amount of shit I could get done? It's almost like that episode of Saved by the Bell with Tori when
Oh,
she
yeah.
was on those caffeine pills.
I do remember
She's
that.
like, "I'm so excited. I'm so scared."
Wow.
That was a very impactful
It
episode for me.
was. That was, one of the deeper episodes where they had to confront her.
Yeah, they did a little intervention.
Exactly.
It was great, but I don't even know where we're
We
going.
were talking about relive.
Yeah.
I've had great results. Like, for me, I've been on a couple of the peptides that have helped me, increase my muscle mass and also lose visceral fat at the same time, which for a man in his late 40s, it is very difficult to continue to grow muscle mass, especially
Mhm.
and right now, you know, I'm still in the growth phase, but eventually I'll just maintain. But it's trying to get back to a weight that makes you feel like you again, and also keep your muscle mass that you used to have. That you would go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week, be super jacked about it and excited to throw up, a lot of weight. Now I just want to get in the gym twice and have enough motivation to get through it and
Mhm.
not feel like ass for a week or not
Yeah.
hurt myself is the bigger part. But then also be able to stimulate new muscle growth, which
Mhm.
I've been very happy with the peptides that I'm on that have helped me with that.
Yep. So, bottom line, take control of your health and stop, accepting that one size fits all.
Yeah, that one, and I think that your mother had a health scare recently, which really you know I guess jump started us into recommending to everybody we talk to. Basically, you got to
Yeah.
go and see what your blood work looks like, not just an annual physical. If that's all you can get done, sure, great, but try to get a more in-depth analysis and blood work so you can see your deficiencies. And that one size fits all medical approach was, I think when your mother got ill, it really pinpointed for us that that one size approach is very, you know, yeah, it doesn't work. And it's very much, we're going to treat symptoms, and we really don't know a lot of times what the root cause is. And we're not going to spend too much time trying to figure it out. We're just going
Yeah,
to treat the symptom and move on.
absolutely. But if your symptom is what looks like normal to them, they're not gonna do anything about it, which was really frustrating, right? Like my mother, she's a high achieving woman. She did 20 years in the Marine Corps. She runs an IT services company where it's service disabled, veteran owned. Like she owns a majority of it. She does everything for this company, and it's been what, 10 years?
Yeah, and when she retired out of the Marine Corps, she was one of 2 chief warrant officers that were female.
Yeah.
So,
So
achieved a lot in her life.
if you know my mom, like she's a badass and like she just doesn't stop. So the fact that we had to call 911 and bring them to the house and they're like, it wasn't a stroke, it wasn't a heart attack. Was no real symptoms of anything other than that she was swollen and very just not like herself. She couldn't turn her neck well. Like there was just a bunch of weird symptoms that no one could give us an answer to why they happened, which was more frustrating than knowing why it happened, right? Because if you know what you're trying to fix, you can do different things to make it better. But if it's like, well, we have no clue, we don't, she looks okay. I'm like, nope, she doesn't look okay. She's really swollen. She is in pain. Like, give us something. And they're like, nope, sorry.
Yeah, this is not normal. Well, here's some Tylenol.
Yeah, exactly. Here, maybe take some Advil. So they literally told us to take better Advil,
Yeah.
which I will say her Advil was expired, but
Well, I could see where that could pose a
right?
problem.
But it's like when we're healthy people, we don't take a lot of medicine. We take peptides and we take vitamins and we're on the proactive,
Proactive.
proactive,
Yeah. Preemptive,
There we
proactive.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Mix those two words together. You conflate the two. But yeah, so I think, and so when that happened, we took her to go see Nikki, who is my FNP, my functional nurse practitioner. She did her initial blood work. We saw some things that were kind of off, and we made changes to her diet, to her supplements, to her movement to help support her wellness. And 6 months later, it's been exactly 6 months since that scare happened. She went back, and all of her blood work is within the normal range and doing what it's supposed to be doing. Right. So now we're going to get her on some different peptides to help with just some joint and just wellness issues. And we're just going to keep optimizing and improving. Right. Like you don't know what you're trying to fix if you're not tracking it.
Exactly. You can't manage what you, I mean, yeah, can't manage what you don't measure. Same within business, right? So you can't create a strategy in a business without having any lead or lag indicators to know if your strategy is successful. So you need that same approach to your health span.
Absolutely. And it took 6 months. So if you're running a business and you're constantly pivoting,
Yes. How do you know?
how do you know? How do you know what's working and what's not? All right. Moving on. Let's talk about vibe coding.
Vibe
Do you know what
coding.
well, now you know what vibe coding
Can you
is.
explain it for our listening audience?
I don't want to explain.
You need to explain it.
So, vibe coding is when you use plain English inside of an AI platform to create code, such as like an app, right? So you go in and you say, I want to create an app that will track your weight every day.
Okay.
And it will create a graph and it will be beautiful and aesthetic. And then the AI platform like ChatGPT or Claude or Lovable, they will spit out code. And then you take that code and you put it into another platform and it creates this app,
Okay.
right? So you're not coding based on technical skill, you're coding on your vibes and what you want it to look
Yeah.
like. And
So it's moving away from actually learning a programming language like C++ or
absolutely.
C Sharp or
Do
Bash or
people
anything else
do
or
people
Python.
still take those
Yeah,
classes?
I think you still need to because at the end of the day, the code that gets spit out by Claude or whatever AI LLM you're using still needs to be, you need to understand the code because when you go to put it into another interpreter and have it run,
Mhm.
there could be errors or bugs or things aren't working exactly like you want them to. And
Yeah,
being able to look at the code and understand what it's doing is still a skill set that's needed. I mean, obviously, you could feed that into another LLM and try to fix it and keep going round and round as you go.
absolutely.
There's even LLMs out there now which will do code verification. So you upload your code and get or whatever to it. It'll analyze the code, know your existing code base, and say, hey, this new module or these new 20 lines of code that you developed while you were vibe coding are going to have this impact
Yeah.
on your code base. And it's
Yes.
going to mess up something, or there could be an overflow somewhere and create some other issues. But it's an interesting concept. I think it'll definitely increase.
It's lowering the barrier of entry to development.
Right. Your time to market will be a lot faster because you can go from idea to beta or alpha code in a week.
Yes. But what are the limitations, right? Like you can go in and you can do this vibe code and you can get this spit out, but what about the databases? What about the back end? Where are you hosting all of this, so on and so forth? What kind of knowledge base do you need to have in order to make an app function in the real world?
Yeah. I think that's where we're going. And that's where I think, hopefully going with that conversation was it's really around being more of a product manager than a coder. I think that's the skill set going forward is understanding the architecture that needs to happen and really being able to articulate to the LLM in the beginning of what exactly you want your code to do.
Mhm.
So to your example, hey, I want an app that tracks my weight and graphs it. Great. It can spit that out relatively quickly. And then it's, now I want to I want it to be multi-user. Oh, okay. And then I got to re-architect the entire thing because I did not have any kind of role-based access controls around the weight that was entered, or I didn't have any way to attribute the weight to a user.
Mhm.
Rewrite all that. And I got to change the backend database. And then, now I want it to be a SaaS platform to support millions of users. Oh, I got to re-architect it again. And then, now I want historical data to be able to graph that out year over year and show, percentages. Now I got to re-architect again because the database was just, we just had the data in there. We weren't doing any sort of trend analysis or doing math calculations and saving that week over week. You can see how that just starts to cascade.
Absolutely. So the thing is like people have great ideas and I'm sure there's a ton of apps out there that have a use case for them. If you wanted to do this the right way, let's say, okay, George McKenzie's going to build an app. How would you do it? Like what is the process? Like, right, you need to structure what, and where and do what.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's first you have to understand what it is you want the app to do.
So you need it from start to finish.
Yeah, you have to kind of wireframe it up.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want it to do. You don't have to know it all in the beginning.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're going to modify and you're going to add on, but you just need a basic understanding of what you want it to do, but be more specific in how it's going to operate.
Hmm.
And then, don't use all your tokens in these vibe coding doing, change this font to green or change that to this,
Yeah.
and being able to use those tokens more effectively of, okay, let me whiteboard out exactly what I want this thing to do, iterate on it, and then go to the LLM and start coding it out.
Yeah.
So similar to what you did when you were coding it yourself, you wouldn't just sit down and start coding. You sat down and you did a wireframe, you did some, you know, visualization and UI UX design of exactly what you wanted it to look like or things you wanted it to do. And then in that course, you would start to uncover some of these other things that we talked about, like what does your database need to be? Is it a
Yeah.
flat file? Is it MySQL? Is it going to be structured,
What
unstructured?
is common? What's common for a database? Like a back end?
At all, that's nothing common. It depends on your use case, the speed and, things that you need, how much data you're storing. Like MySQL is an easy one that most people use to get off the bat, get off the
Yeah.
ground.
Hmm. And then what's the next iteration of that? Let's say you needed to level it up.
I mean, it could just be actual SQL. It could be a larger database, an Oracle database. It could be a lot of, who knows? Depends on what you need.
Hmm.
I'm not as up to speed on SaaS apps.
Yeah. Interesting. I
Yeah,
bet you if we asked ChatGPT, they'd be able to tell us.
probably. Sure would.
Right. But I mean, there's a use case for it, right? It's
No, I think vibe coding is the way we're going, right? It's like Copilot. It's going to be able to assist people to be able to generate more code more quickly.
my fear is you're just going to have a bunch of shitty apps flood the market now.
Well, that's probably what'll happen in phase one, right?
Yeah.
Is that everyone will now be an app designer,
Mm-hmm.
get something out quick, which will be a derivative of the last one that LLM wrote because it's using the same code base and knowledge set to continually spit out the same stuff.
Yeah.
Then you'll have an app for every feature you want versus a app that has all the features that you want.
Yeah. I actually saw Gary V. He was talking to his AI LLM and he was having like a full, I think he had like a 12-minute voice spoken prompt to his LLM, right? It's almost like the conversation that we guess we were talking about.
Yeah, that people have conversations with Grok in the car in the Tesla.
Yeah. And didn't you send me an article for that?
I don't know if I sent you the article, but I know someone that does that actually he's has conversations on the drive with the car, and he said it's great. It's like having your wife in the seat next to you, only she's up to speed on every current event and everything that's going on all the time,
Yeah,
so you can just have a conversation.
definitely. But it was Gary Vee. He was saying that it's prompt engineering,
Yeah,
right? That's what it's going to.
yeah,
You are now going to be hiring people.
to be prompt engineers that know how to ask the right questions because I don't know how many times I've done it. It's you sit there and you're not completely precise in what you want to come out the other end. So
Yeah.
then you waste tons and tons of tokens back and forth of I want you to give me this marketing slick.
Yeah.
Oh, I want it in this format. Look like this. Do you want it in a PDF? Yes, I want it in a PDF. Do you want it now? Yes, I want it fucking now.
Yeah.
Would you like a PNG to go along with the PDF? No, I just want the fucking PDF.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of back and
Yeah.
forth unnecessarily.
Right.
Okay. And this is the article you sent me. It was a public speaking expert. Here's my secret to making small talk less awkward and more meaningful.
Yeah, and that was you have ChatGPT give you stuff to say.
Yeah.
Give me conversation starters, or hey, look up this person. I'm going to this networking event. This person will be there. Give me all the public information from their LinkedIn and otherwise to create 3 conversation points that I can relate to my product.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I can see it from both angles in a preparation, right? Like when I'm moderating a panel or something, I will do all the research I need to on the women that I'm speaking to,
Right.
right? To just understand and just to know how they operate, right? Like I want to hear them speak. I want to make sure I'm saying their name properly, so on and so forth. But also the art of interpersonal conversation, I feel like it's just dying.
Yeah. Why do you need it? I
Because
know you need it. I'm just
y-
being silly.
it's like how to make things less awkward. I feel like everybody needs to go through that evolution of being like uncomfortable and unsure of what the hell they're doing. That's growth, right? Like you can't go into every situation and be 100% on. Like I feel like it's just like your skin in the game,
Yeah.
right? It's like a stepping stone into becoming a better human.
Yeah. It's like the same with public speaking or any skill, right? You're never going to be great at it in the beginning, and you're going to be nervous and it's uncomfortable, and you got to continue to work. It's repetition. It's, failing. It's learning.
Yeah, right. This is saying based on a person's LinkedIn profile, what are 3 conversation starters I could use?
Right.
That feels like cheating.
Well, I mean, the good part here is it's just kicking it's just the kickoff, right? So you have the 3 conversation starters, but then you still have to maintain the conversation.
But what if
There's
you
nothing worse
can't?
than that. And exactly, that's what I was going with. There's nothing worse than that when someone's like, "Oh, you wrote a book. Tell me about your book." And then you start to talk about the book, and then that's it. Next question. "Oh, you did this. Oh, you did that.
Yeah.
Oh." And you're like, "Well, okay, you didn't double click on anything I said. We didn't have an actual conversation. You just asked me 3 questions, and you had 0 fucks to give about the answer. You just wanted to get to the next question."
Yeah. Right? It feels so inauthentic and useless.
Yeah.
I feel whenever I go somewhere, people end up telling me their life stories, and I don't know why. Right? There are those people that some people can just talk to and tell them everything. I will know your whole life story by the end of our like 10-minute conversation. And it's not to say that I'm really great at public speaking or I'm really comforting. I don't know. Is it the prompting or is it am I naturally good at interviewing people?
Maybe. I just think if you show genuine interest in someone else,
Yeah.
everyone's, what's the art of, making friends and influencing people, like, everyone's favorite word is their name, which is not true to me. I hate it, but everyone wants to talk about themselves. So when you
Yes.
give them the opportunity to talk about themselves and you ask insightful questions and you seem to be genuinely interested in their story, they continue to elaborate. And then when you show empathy and you show shared experience in some
Mhm.
capacity of what they're talking about, then you form that bond instantaneously, and then they continue to open up to you.
Yeah. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, there's a book about that.
Is there?
Yeah,
What?
can't remember. I read it.
Very
I read it. I don't
helpful.
remember it. The guy was
Very
a CIA
helpful.
operative, and he was very good at going undercover and blending in, and, that was the secrets is really and he taught tons and tons of classes around it. It's about how do you n you don't wanna be noticed, but you wanna be able to make friends and talk and negotiate with anybody.
Yeah.
And he found, here are the key steps that make him, good at his job. And it was really around, you know, bonding with that person to share shared empathy and listening,
Mhm.
asking insightful questions, and not just repeating what they said back to you, right? And parroting it back. It's, going deeper into the question, being genuinely interested.
Maybe it's because I hate talking about myself so much.
Maybe.
I feel like that could be it.
Yeah.
Anytime you ask me to introduce myself, like, it's gonna be a really quick, like, 12 seconds. Because it's just I don't know. It feels braggadocious maybe?
Yeah. I think that's common for women. I think that's men are probably more braggadocious naturally. But yeah, if you ever go around rooms and you hear people do their introductions, it's only the guys that talk forever.
That might be my favorite part of sitting in the office with you is when you're on a call and you have, like, a ton of men that have done, like, exits or so on and so forth, and you go through and you just listen to them talk about themselves. I'm like, "Oh, you love the smell of your own farts, don't you?"
Rich
It's great.
mahogany.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay. Moving on.
Vibe code.
Vibe coding. Vibe coding. Can we chat about private equity
We can.
and what happens when the CEO does not get along with the private equity company?
Okay.
I'm thinking about a situation that I told you about last week where the CEO is no longer a
Right.
part of the PE.
Yeah. I mean, most time the CEOs are either brought in through acquisition or they're hired in. So they're really not part of the PE. They're just part of the company.
Yeah.
So in this instance, the CEO and the private equity group that was the majority shareholder had a disagreement on how the company should be run,
Yeah.
and they left,
Yes.
not so gracefully.
Yes. But this seems to be a common theme.
I mean, it can be. I think that's, yeah,
Okay.
it could be private equity. I mean, you just got to think about like a lot of CEOs, especially ones that were founders or ones that have that kind of background, see the
Mhm.
world through a different lens, right? Like, yes, founders are normally, not, I wouldn't say penny pinchers, but they have their eye on the ball. They know about, you know, cost of capital, and they understand that, when you make investments, you want a return on that investment and you want to be able to grow, but also be profitable. Because
Mhm.
founder, especially in a bootstrap company, you have to be profitable or you cannot exist.
Yeah.
And that melds well with private equity philosophy. Only private equity, most times are really short-term focused and they want returns, right? So it's, I want, stronger EBITDA. I want more efficient operations. I want earnings before income, before interest, taxes, debt, and depreciation.
Okay.
And they want, to maximize their return. They want to be ruthlessly efficient, right? They want to be not really investing in long-term strategies. It's more of, I want to invest in something that's going to have an immediate return.
Yeah.
I want 20% year-over-year growth. I want strong 20+% EBITDA so I can be a Rule of 40 company, and I want to exit for 10, 12, 15, whatever X EBITDA or revenue, and that's the goal.
Okay. So when a private equity company agrees to exit the company for pennies on the dollar, what went wrong?
It could be a myriad of things.
But let's just say, like,
In today's marketplace, like,
yeah,
there's
what happened? Something,
yeah, maybe they
did
made
they misread the market?
could've yeah, it could be a lot of things. It's probably they had an investment thesis that was wrong.
Hmm.
Right, and then or they have shareholders, which are LPs that are saying, "Hey, I don't like what's going on with this fund. I want a return, or I want my return faster." Or maybe they had another thing in that portfolio that did not do well, so now they have to, backstop it with this one, or vice versa, or this is the one that's sinking, and they wanna save their portfolio, so they'd rather just get out of this and continue to focus and grow the other.
Can I say that you're not a fan of private equity?
I think
Is that safe to say?
it works in some cases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it working in some cases.
Hmm.
I
But
think more, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I don't think I would do it again.
no.
No.
Would you ever start a fund?
No.
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 Why or why not?
I'm just not that much of a risk taker. I
Boring.
know, I'm not at this stage of my life anymore. But, I think it's
If you were younger, let's
if I was
say
younger,
if
maybe.
if it was like 15 years ago, George,
Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, I probably would have done it then. It's just right now, I have a hard time not getting, like, super involved or emotionally attached to things. Like, if I was investing in it, I'd probably not be a great private equity partner because I'd be too much like an operator, and versus someone who's gonna sit back on the board and look at lead lag indicators and have patience and bless a strategy and then not second guess it.
Okay. You're a terrible patient, aren't you?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Especially when when you're, you have the ownership and the responsibility and accountability to deliver returns to your LPs, right? So, you're accountable for that. So you got to make sure it's successful.
Okay. So as a founder, you have a different kind of brain. When you see other companies, do you have a hard time not strategizing how to scale or what they could be doing better?
Yes, 100%. You
Right.
always, yeah, you're always trying to see it from their side. Like, why are they doing X, or how could they get better or be better?
Yeah.
It's hard not to see the world that way. It's like
Yeah.
when you're a professional athlete and you go watch, another game of the same sport, you're analyzing X, Y, or Z. Like, oh, why'd the player do that? Or why'd the coach do this?
Yeah.
Or what if they did that?
Yeah. It's like having friends who are restaurateurs.
Yes.
She's a terrible person to go out to eat with
Yeah.
because it's constantly like, they should be doing that better.
Yes.
They should be doing that better. They're absolutely killing it here. Like they're failing there. Right. You can't enjoy. I don't know. It's like once you see something, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. A friend of mine, we used to have that same talk about, once you're a founder and you've been a part of success, and then, you've used a lot of the motivation tactics and you've experienced things. And once you've seen behind the curtain, so to speak, it's really hard to go then into corporate life and not like just look at some of the stuff and be like, oh, that's bullshit. It's manipulation. I know you're saying that you're trying to give me a title or do this so that you don't pay me more, or you're doing this because, oh, you're trying to, lower your indirect, or all these things that you're trying to sell me on that are great for me, or this, balance and work life and all this stuff that you're saying. It's not true. I know why you're saying it because I've been behind the curtain. I know the levers you're pulling to get to goose EBITDA or to drive this quarter's profitability, or like all these things that you're doing to the workforce to get the outcome you want, and you're selling it as one thing.
Yeah.
So once you're behind the curtain, you kind of see it, and it's hard to go back in front, go back and be in the audience and not know the special effects that are happening. Right?
Yeah.
So imagine being a magician and then going to a magic show. You're like, it's not any fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who was telling us when there's a roller coaster at Disney World?
Space Mountain.
Is it Space Mountain? That if you ever rode it,
our tour guide.
Yeah, if you rode it with the lights on, you would never ever get on it again.
Yes.
Because the bars and the rails are like eerily close to your head.
Yeah.
So it's completely in the dark for a reason. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
That's right.
All right. To celebrate the 50th episode, George and I are actually doing a giveaway, and it will be held on social media. It's going to be a little box full of our favorite wellness products. So I would say head to social media. But one thing that I do want to ask, if you've made it through these 50 episodes and you have gotten any form of help or inspiration or assurance or anything, please do me a favor and go leave a review. The more reviews we have, the further the reach will be and the bigger of an impact that we can make. And yeah, it's just really, really important. So please and thank you.
Yeah. Pound that subscribe button. No, that's not what you say.
That's the wrong platform.
Okay. Damn it.
We're going to have to put you through like a social media 101.
Oh, thank you.
It's good. It's a necessary evil.
Is it?
It is. It is. Just ask Gary V.
I don't know who that is.
You're joking.
No. Who the fuck's Gary V?
You don't know who that is?
I don't.
Okay. I'm going to go teach George some things and we'll be back next week.
All right. Out.
Thank you for tuning in to Married to the Startup. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to like, rate, and subscribe to our podcast. Your support helps us reach more people and keeps the conversation going. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, drop me a message. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time.
George, out.